Hey, lovely freaks, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Amanda.
And I'm Hannah.
And if you're new here, hi, welcome. If you like things strange and unusual and true crime, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe or follow button. You can also head down to the description box, and you'll see a link that will take you to our link tree. And that'll take you to our social media like Instagram, Facebook, and all that jazz. Yeah. So Hannah's back.
Yay!
Sorry we couldn't get to you guys last week. Like I said on our post, it was just, we had a lot going on. My kids started their soccer and football games, so we had that going on every day that week, and we also had practices. But now we're getting into the swing of things, and hopefully Hannah will be able to come record, and we got that all situated for every weekend. Well, you may not be with me every time, but
Yeah.
So anywho, I think that's pretty much it. We're going to talk about Gabby Petito. If you don't know who that is, it's a girl right now that's currently missing, and if you know anything about true crime, it's probably been all over your For You page if you're on TikTok, even Instagram. So, but we'll talk about her at the end. But we are going to talk about that today. As far as today is the 18th, and I'm going to let you guys know all the updates that we have so far on her. But that's not the main case. The main case today is about Stephen Pladl. I always want to say Pladl.
That's an interesting last name, Pladl.
Yeah. And if you've heard about this case, then you know that we're going to be talking about incest today. Woo!
Yay.
What a fun topic. So anywho, Stephen Pladl, and this also has to deal with his ex-wife and a girl named Katie as well. And we'll get into that. So Stephen Pladl was 20 when he met Alyssa Gracia? I don't know. Alyssa.
Garcia?
Her name, but her name became Alyssa Pladl not too long after this, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. She was 15, and they met on the internet in 1995 in the chat room. I know. So for those of you little children out there that don't know, back in the 90s, chat rooms were that's pretty much all that was on the internet, and it was like blogs and stuff, and maybe like the news. So you could go into like a chat room, like I remember having an AOL chat room username and all that, but it was kind of dangerous to have that, but we didn't know because we were naive. But you could go into the chat room and you could start chatting with anybody.
Yeah, you could just talk to random
people. There's like millions of people in there. They only let a certain amount of people in the chat rooms, but I can't even remember how many people at a time were in there, but there was multiple chat rooms.
The thought of just like an old man being like, yeah, I'm a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah, well, back then, I would talk with older people, but I think that's how like social media bullying kind of started. Yeah, basically, because people would be douchebags in there. So anyways, they met on the internet, and then in 1998 Alyssa gave birth to a baby girl, and they named her Denise. Alyssa said that Stephen became abusive to this baby. He would pinch her sometimes, like to the point where he would leave bruises and things like that. She even said one time he put her in like a cardboard box or some sort of box because he got tired of hearing her cry. Wow. Yeah. Alyssa actually ended up marrying Stephen, so her name became Alyssa Pladl after a while. The couple was also very poor, and of course, like I said, they were pretty young. So they decided that they would give the baby up for adoption. She was 8 months old when they did this, and Alyssa said, and I quote, "It was so hard to give her up, but I wanted her to live and be happy." End quote. The baby was then adopted by Anthony and Kelly Fusco. And her name then became Katie Fusco. And they lived in New York. So we're going to talk about Katie. Mm-hmm. In 2007, we're not going to talk about Katie right now, but hold on. Yeah. In 2007, after they, were older and they had been married for a while and all that, they actually ended up having more kids. So they had 2 more, I believe. Yeah, 2 more daughters. And in 2012, they had another one. So So in 2000 and, what did I say? 7?
7.
Yeah, 2007 they had one girl, and in 2012 they had another one. So meanwhile, Katie, she was growing up in a very good life. Like, she had an awesome family, adopted family. She was even an aspiring artist, and she went to Dover High School, and she was, like, she drew amazing comic strip, like, art, and she wanted to go to college for digital advertising. Like, she already knew, like, that was what she wanted to do. She just loved art. She even wrote one time in a blog, she said, quote, "A pen and something to draw on become a safe place for me. I know," wait, I think I meant to say I know, but I totally didn't. Anyways, ink became my weapon against rules and regulations. To be short, for me, a life without art is no life at all. End quote. Right on, sister. So when Katie turned 18, she began to wonder about her birth parents, as most people that are adopted do. They always want to try to find them. And she started doing that. She was like searching on social media and things like that, and trying to, I don't really know how she went about it. It didn't really say, because sometimes you can contact like wherever you were adopted from or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know if her parents knew, because I could never find out if it was like it wasn't an open adoption, but I don't know if her parents adopted her from them specifically, you know, like found out about them, or if they put like an ad in the paper, or, you know, it's always different. Or I don't think they went through an agency though, but I don't know.
Let's just say agency maybe.
Yeah. So she finally found them on social media, and it was Alyssa and Steven, and she messaged them. The parents were happy to be reunited with their little girl that they gave up, and she started spending a lot of time with them. Katie was supposed to enroll in a local community college after high school, so she was about to graduate, go to community college, but instead she ended up moving in with her long-lost family in Virginia. So she moved in with Elisa, Steven, their 2 daughters. You know, at first everything was just like, okay, she just wants to be with them. She thought they were really cool. She, you know, thought they were awesome, and she wanted to try something different, I guess. Katie also seemed like not a free-spirited type. Well, I mean, I guess so. She was a very artsy, free-spirited type of person. So it's not like she had like a super set goal. You know, I have to go to community college. I have to go to this college or something like that. Months before Katie arrived to live with them, Steven and Elisa had actually already begun sleeping in separate bedrooms because they fought a lot. Elisa said, quote, "I was always on eggshells. Whatever his mood was, everybody knew. And that mood was often not happy. A lot of yelling, a lot of things smashed in the house, and in front of the kids." End quote. So a lot of these quotes that I'm telling you guys are from interviews that Elisa has done. Elisa told Katie one day that Steven actually had abused her when she was a baby, and that's the reason why they gave her up. So she even, she told her all these things because I guess there was a lot of turmoil after she moved in. Steven was being like kind of a douchebag and all this stuff, and so she was just like, well, like we had to give you up because he was an ass, like he was abusive, and I don't really know why she told her that, but it didn't really change the way Katie looked at her biological father. She didn't really seem concerned about it, I guess you could say.
Did she have any kind of relationship with him, or not really?
We'll get there.
Okay.
So Elisa said after Katie arrived in the house, Steven got a little weird. He began to wear skinny jeans, form-fitting t-shirts, he shaved his beard, he actually grew out his hair, and almost like he was trying to look younger and impress Katie, is what Elisa said.
That is weird.
Yeah. She asked him about it, and he actually said, it's none of your business, mind your own business, and stormed out of the house and took Katie with him. Ooh. Like, they went off somewhere. On November 2016, Elisa finally moved out of the house, and they started to share custody with their 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
Elisa was tired of the fighting, and she also noticed that Katie and Stephen would go a lot of places together alone and spend a lot of time together. Katie, for some reason, also began to sleep in the floor of Stephen's room.
How old is she now?
Katie is 19.
19?
Yeah.
And she's doing all that?
He's 40 something. Yeah. And Elisa said that she only suspected something was going on between Katie and Stephen, but she could never confirm it. So she was always like, well, it's kind of odd that she's sleeping in his room in the floor.
Yeah, I would
when
understand
she could sleep on the
you're
couch.
Like an 8-year-old and you can't sleep in your room. Because I used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I would sleep in my parents' room. But the fact that she's 19.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
It's really weird. And, I mean, what's the likelihood of her actually sleeping in the floor? I mean,
Yeah.
they weren't sleeping in the same room, so she could have been like, I'm pallet in my daddy's room. Yeah. But really...
19 years old?
She's
Please,
sleeping with her dad.
No.
So... She never could confirm anything, Elisa. That is until May of 2017, when Stephen told Elisa that their 12-year-old had been misbehaving and acting up at his house. And he actually gave Elisa her diary, the 12-year-old's diary, which seems kind of odd, but whatever. And then Elisa decided she would read it because she said she wanted to see, like, why is she acting up? Maybe she's upset about the divorce or whatever. She didn't want to read her diary, but her daughter really wasn't talking to her, so she decided, I'll just read it, because maybe there's something in here that'll give me some insight about what I can do.
Yeah.
And this is what she found. She wrote that Katie was pregnant and said that her dad told her that they were a couple now. She said, Dad told me to call my sister stepmom. And to me, it sounds like he kind of wanted Elisa to know because he's the one that gave her the diary and was like, yeah, you should read this. You know what I mean?
But why would he want her to know?
Because he doesn't give a shit. Because this is what happened. Elisa calls Stephen and said, I quote, she said, is Katie pregnant with your baby? ?
Yeah.
And he said, I thought you knew we were in love. We are in love.
Oh, so he just wants everyone to know?
Yeah. It gets weirder. Just hold on. Alyssa replied with, how could you? She's your child, your biological child. So after this, Alyssa called the police. And the police actually interviewed Alyssa and Stephen, but no one was arrested. Because it's, there's different laws in different states, but it's illegal to have an incest relationship in most states in the U.S. There are some exceptions, and we'll get to, they're living in Maryland right now. We'll get to what it is in Maryland. So 2 months after Stephen and Alyssa's divorce was finalized, he married his daughter Katie in Maryland, July 20th, 2017. They lied on their marriage license and said that they were not related. The crazier shit than that is that Katie's adoptive parents actually attended the wedding. I wrote funeral. Funeral. But yeah, actually attended the wedding. And they believe there was... They said that they didn't believe that there was anything they could do to stop it. So they just wanted to support her because she was an adult. So, there wasn't really anything they could do.
That is, completely wrong.
Yeah. So in Maryland, one of the incest laws, or the incest law in Maryland, is that it is only illegal to have vaginal intercourse in Maryland in an incest fashion.
But
that's
they
what
can
it
get
says.
Married?
That doesn't mean, it doesn't say anything about anal. I guess anal's fine. I don't understand that. That's what it says.
Weird.
It says that incestual relationships cannot happen with vaginal intercourse. So, and it doesn't say anything about marriage. So does that mean marriage is fine?
But, they're gonna have sex if they're getting married.
Yeah.
Duh.
I don't know. It was weird.
And how are you gonna check in? Just come in every once in a while. Hey, y'all call me when y'all are gonna do it.
Call me when you're doing it. But they lied on their marriage license anyways, and that's probably because I think it doesn't say specifically anything about marriage, but I'm sure it's probably illegal to get married. Or otherwise, maybe they just lied because they didn't want to have to deal with it. I don't know. So, at this time when they got married, Katie was 20 and Stephen was 42. And so I'm going to kind of explain just a tad bit about why Katie and Stephen were attracted to each other, because you guys might be wondering. It's something called reverse sexual imprinting, which they lacked, or Katie lacked. Mm-hmm. So reverse imprinting is basically when it's like it's a hypothesis that people who lived in close proximity in a domestic relationship, not relationship, but like a domestic proximity to each other, like close to each other, mm-hmm. like your mom, your dad, your brother, blah blah blah, become desensitized to sexual attraction to the opposite sex. So there is actually also something else called GSA, which is genetic sexual attraction. And please understand, this is not the same thing as like child abuse. So this is consensual
that,
adults.
She was attracted to him.
Yeah, and he was attracted to her because they didn't grow up, or they weren't from birth. They weren't together
all the time.
Yeah, even though he could have been like, you're my daughter. Like, weird. And there's a lot of like genetic problems that come with incest as well and things like that. But yeah, they were sexually attracted to each other because they didn't grow up.
I feel like she just had daddy issues, and then her daddy was actually there. So she was like, yeah, daddy. That's what I feel. Daddy. And we're like, ooh, no.
And then it became daddy.
Oh, God.
So, where was I? Oh, yeah. So that's what the GSA is. And there's actually, it's just a theory. There's no like science behind it. But, I think that could be the case. Now, there are certain circumstances where you do have men that are sexually attracted to their kids, and they're they engage in child abuse and things like that, and that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people that are separated at birth, and then they grow up, and then they become sexually attracted to their brother, sister, mother, father, whatever,
they can't
when they meet each other.
Family love and actual physical love. Is that what you're saying?
I guess so. Yeah. There's like a whole, you can type in GSA, genetic sexual attraction, and like read all about it. It's really crazy. There was this one woman who said that she she met her father and her family, and then one night her father, they were like wrestling, being crazy or whatever, and he like pinched her in her thigh, and she got excited, and he got excited, and then they started they knew it was wrong, but they started they kissed, then they made out, and then they had sex. Yeah.
Just the thought of that makes me want to
die. Yeah. But that's the thing. We grew up with our dad.
Yeah, we grew up with our dad and everything. That would literally crawl inside out if that happened.
Yeah. I mean, I get it to a certain extent. If you don't grow up with a person and you don't know them, it's basically like meeting somebody you've never met before in your life. Yeah, so, I mean, if you're sexually attracted to them, you can't really help that. But it's still really weird.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's still against the law in a lot of states. So Katie eventually gave birth to a son named Bennett because, yes, Katie was pregnant when they got married. Very pregnant when they got married. They then moved to North Carolina, but the newlywed happiness did not last very long. In January, after having their son, Katie and Stephen were arrested on incest charges. They were released on bond and ordered to have no contact with each other. Stephen's mother was awarded custody of the baby, and Katie moved back in with her adoptive parents. Every Tuesday and Thursday, Katie would travel to Stephen's mom's to Connecticut to visit her baby, Bennett. Katie called Stephen one time to end the relationship because I guess maybe her adoptive parents taught some sense into her or something. I don't know. So she was going to end the relationship, and they were supposed to meet or something like that. I don't really know what for, but they were going to meet one night, and before meeting on April 11th, 2018, Stephen stole baby Bennett from his mother's house. He brought him back to his house. He then suffocated him and left his body in a closet.
Oh my gosh.
Stephen waited outside the home of Katie's adoptive parents and watched Katie and her adoptive father, Anthony, leave in the vehicle. He followed them, and then when they stopped at a stop sign, he shot Katie, and then he shot her adoptive father, killing both of them, and then Stephen turned the gun on himself.
Whoa.
Yep. And that's the story.
Is that it?
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, he ended up killing, I think it's because, and his ex-wife, Alyssa, has said, you know, he's always had, like, anger issues.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Why did he, just cause?
She was going to leave. I mean, she was going to leave and she was done. And I don't think that they would have been able to keep custody of their kid because it you know, a full custody was awarded to his mom. So it's not like, you know, it's not like they were able to keep custody of him.
Yeah.
And
well, how long were they together?
Katie and Stephen?
Yeah, like married.
Not long, because they got married in 2017. Isn't that what I said?
Yeah. Or no, 2007.
No.
No, wait, that's the kid. Never mind.
Yeah. No, that was when. Yeah, that was one of the kids. Ugh, when did they get married?
2017,
I'm looking.
maybe? Or 18?
2018 is when. No, that's when he stole the baby.
Stole the baby.
I think it was 2017.
So it wasn't long.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, 2017, July 20th. So yeah, they were only married for
Did she
a little bit.
Say why she was leaving?
Well, that's what I said. Like, I think her adoptive parents kind of talked her into, like,
yeah, this is wrong.
This is wrong. He's your father, even though you don't really know he's your father, but he is. So yeah, I think they just talked her into leaving, and he wasn't having it. He was pissed.
I can't believe he killed him.
I know. And he killed his son. And I don't understand
why he killed. Did the son have any problems?
So Alyssa thought that, no, the son was healthy. He was a healthy baby boy. So Alyssa thought that maybe, and incest doesn't always, you don't always have, like, problems with kids. Like, it's not an automatic thing, but it can happen. There can be genetic markers that,
I thought that it automatically does that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So now we're going to talk about Gabby Petito real quick. There's a whole lot of information, and I'm just going to kind of give you the gist. I'm not going to necessarily talk about dates and stuff because I don't have them all written down and there's a lot. But I will say we have some stuff on our Instagram, so you can go look at that, and you can see her van, which it doesn't really matter now. Mm-hmm. Her van's not with her, wherever she may be. But Gabby Petito was last seen August 25th in the Grand Tetons, Wyoming, heading to Yellowstone National Park. She was traveling in a white Ford Transit van, but don't look for that van if you're in this area because it's with her boyfriend now, wherever he may be, and I'll explain that in a second. So that's the last place that she was supposed to be, though. They were headed to Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm.
She also has a tattoo on her right arm, and it says "Let It Be," and then a tattoo on her left arm of a triangle with flowers. So if you have any information, you can look on our Instagram, and there's a number you can call. And her boyfriend, Brian, oh gosh, what's his last name?
Mm-hmm.
I know. I hear it all the time. That's all that's on my For You page right now. Oh my gosh. Her boyfriend, Brian. What is his last name? Oh. I don't know.
Brian.
Yeah. Brian's not his last name. Brian. Anyways, her boyfriend's name is Brian, and he is a person of interest right now in this case. Laundry. Brian Laundry. That's it. You think I'd be able to remember that?
That's an easy last name.
So basically what happened was her and her boyfriend decided to go on this, like, cross-country road trip in this van. And they started this journey, I believe it was around July. Mm-hmm. And you can go on like her Instagram and you can see all her posts. This is her Instagram. You can see all her posts. This is when they started. And there's some other interesting theories that I'll explain to you in just a second. So this is her boyfriend. And you guys, you can go on her Instagram right now and you can see all these posts as well.
So she's just missing right now? They haven't found the
She's missing right now. So this is basically what happened. Around August 30th, my birthday, that was like the last time
she was seen.
She was heard from her family. Her mom, she had FaceTimed her mom, I believe, like a day or two before that. And she was FaceTiming her, and then that's the last time that she had talked to her FaceTime-wise. Mm-hmm. She had gotten texts from her, but they were always short text, and her family now believes that wasn't her that was texting. Mm-hmm. So they officially reported her missing on September 11th. Well, the family didn't know where Brian was and didn't know where she was. Come to find out, Brian had actually traveled from Yellowstone, wherever they were at, in the van, and went all the way back home to Florida. Yeah, in the van. He gets there, and then the police find out. They're like, oh shit, he's in Florida. Well, maybe Gabby's there. Like, maybe she's just ignoring her parents. Maybe she's just, didn't.
That's weird.
So the police go to the house, to his parents' house, because he lives in his parents' house. And by the way, Gabby and Brian they weren't engaged. They had called off the engagement, but they had been together for a long time. I mean, this is basically going to be like their daughter-in-law, basically, was Gabby. So they get to his parents' house, and they're like, where's your son? And where is Gabby, And they're just like, no comment.
What?
Yeah. The van's in the front yard. The van's in the driveway.
No comment.
No comment. And they keep telling him, no comment. Where's he at? And they no comment. Does he know where Gabby is?
Suspicious.
No comment.
That's
and so then they
suspicious.
say, well, you can talk to his lawyer. And they give him, yeah, he already had lawyered up.
Guilty.
So eventually, a couple of days, I think this was like yesterday or the 15th. Yeah, so a couple of days ago. 15th or 16th. I don't have all the times. And we'll do a whole thing on this eventually whenever everything comes out. I hope that she's somewhere safe.
Yeah. I hope they don't find a body or anything.
Yeah, as of right now, it's looking really bad for him because he's now missing. Now he's missing.
Oh, he's missing?
Yeah, like he left. He left his parents' house.
Oh.
They said he left.
Or he ran away.
Yeah, I mean, basically he ran away. Her parents put out a thing saying, please understand that Gabby's missing, not Brian, because Brian is running away, basically, is what they said. So don't think that he's missing.
Missing too, yeah.
So one thing that's interesting about her Instagram, which I didn't really think about until I saw this on TikTok, somebody had mentioned it. Like, you see all her posts, see how there's like an emoji, and then there's just a short little caption, nothing too big. On all of her posts, there's always like this little caption and stuff like that. But if you go to when she supposedly like went missing and stuff, like they get bigger.
Yeah.
Like they get a lot, like the posts get
really bigger.
Yeah. Except for the Happy Halloween, like just a simple Happy Halloween one. And if you go to his, and a lot of this, like if you read it, it's long, but if you read it, a lot of it is like supporting him. Like he's mentioned in it a lot. It's really weird. Yeah. And see, this is a long post.
Yeah, so a lot of people, because when you were showing me like their short, sweet and simple, all of a sudden right around when she's supposed to be missing.
Yeah. So a lot of people, and this is him. This is Brian's. Mm-hmm. And if you go to his, you can see like he posts long stuff like that.
That is suspicious. It's long.
Yeah.
Exactly like it.
So a lot of people were like, oh, what if like he was the one posting all that?
Yeah.
And talking about like the environment and stuff, because he's like very environmental health conscious person. And
was she talking about it in that post?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In the long post, she was talking about the environment and stuff. It's just really odd. Another thing somebody mentioned on TikTok, which I didn't even think about this, was the fact that in some of her photos, she has roots. See how her roots have grown out like a lot?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, her hair is blonde. Obviously, she's not a natural blonde. But she's got, like, long roots because they've been across country traveling. Like, she ain't got time to go to the salon. But in the last photo she ever posted, her roots are done.
Oh, yeah. Her roots are done.
So it almost makes it seem like that photo was taken, long time before. But those are just theories. Those last two are just theories
TikTok
about that.
Pulling out the evidence.
Yeah. People were, like, getting into it. But, see, this is at, like, the beginning where her roots are done.
Yeah.
But then if you go...
Just keep scrolling, her roots are more and more not done.
Shows more and more.
Do you think maybe she went to a salon?
I mean, but she could have, but I doubt it. I mean, I wouldn't if I was on the road. Like, why would you care if you're cross-country hiking and go into all these different places? Like, I wouldn't care. But, yeah.
Especially about the post, that's really weird.
She was last seen in Utah, though, and all those places, like the Grand Tetons was where they were supposed to be going next. Which, didn't y'all go to the Grand Tetons not too long ago?
I've been to Yellowstone, and that place is huge.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
to
the
find
last
someone is like, I could kidnap somebody and, like, go hide in the woods and no one could find me.
Well, the last update, I believe that we have from this case is that they finally got either his phone or her phone's, like, GPS location stuff. They finally got all that stuff, but they have to sift through all of it, you know. So hopefully we'll be able to find out where she went. There was somebody that actually said that they gave him a ride. He was where was he at?
Like, he was hitchhiking?
He was hitchhiking, and I'm trying to think of where he was.
But he had the van. That's weird.
Well, so it was somebody on TikTok, and they said that they had given him a ride. Oh. He actually said that his girlfriend's back at the van. Mm. I don't remember what day this was on exactly, but he said that
during when she was missing?
Or yeah. After? Okay, it supposedly would be, like, during when he was... That's the Grand Tetons. Where is that? What is that place called? Coulter Bay.
Coulter Bay. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Is that Coulter Bay?
Yeah, Coulter Bay.
Okay, so he was in that area when they gave him a ride, and then they went across, like, this bridge or something, like something you can drive across, and he was, like, freaking out, and he finally just was like, stop here, I'll get out and go the rest of the way, or something like that. And so they let him out. Then there was another lady who said that she thought she saw Gabby in the Grand Tetons or Yellowstone. I think it was Yellowstone. Yeah. And at one point, so there have been people that were traveling that remember seeing them at some different points. But on Gabby's, like, there's an app where you can, like, track where all you hike to. And so people were going through, like, TikTok, man, they were on it. People were going through her...
They do be doing that sometimes.
They were doing the most. They were on her this travel app where you can, like, log all the places that you travel. And it follows your phone and stuff like that and your GPS and, like, your watch or whatever. So it was, like, Coulter Bay's over here. Mm-hmm. And a lot in that, like, where he was hitchhiking... There was a lot of different transactions or different, like, hiking transactions, I guess you could say, in that spot over those last few days. It was just really odd. And then the last one was, like, Coulter Bay, and then way up, like, in the middle of nowhere. Like, is Coulter Bay in Yellowstone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
And, like, Grand Tetons, is that in Yellowstone?
I know that's in Yellowstone.
Yeah, okay.
Well, near Yellowstone.
Yeah, it's, like, all kind of in the same
area,
area, I guess you could say. Well, in the middle of, like, nowhere land, that was the last, like, spot that they hiked or whatever. But some people are like, what if that's where he dumped the body or something like that?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it's just really weird. There was also some body cam footage because there was a domestic dispute that was, called in by this couple, by these people that saw Gabby and Brian fighting, And so there's body cam footage of
them fighting?
The police. Well, they weren't fighting, but when the police showed up,
not physically, but
yeah. Gabby was like super she was like really distraught. She was stressed. She was talking about it. You'd have to watch it because there's a lot of different things. And like I said, I don't have all the details of this case, just because there's so much stuff out there, and I don't want to put a lot of stuff out there until we know facts. You know what I mean?
That's true. I don't want to like point the finger at him and it's not him or something like that.
It's just really suspicious that he drove her van back home and she wasn't anywhere near. And that's her van. That's not their van. That's her van.
He's left. Not only that, but he's not worried. He's not like, oh my God, like where is she? Yeah, that's very.
And you automatically got a lawyer, and you automatically like your family's like no comment.
Exactly.
And like, that's what her parents said. Her parents put out a statement saying, something, y'all know something, your son knows something, or you know something that your son has done.
Not say that.
How can you not? This was going to be your daughter-in-law, and how can you not say anything?
Yeah.
How can you not let us know what's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, even if he got like angry at her or whatever, and it was an accident,
like he pushed her off something,
just fucking admit it.
Or they had a fight or something like that.
But now he's ran away, so I'm not gonna say he's missing. I mean, this isn't like a serial killer followed him all the way from Yellowstone down to Florida. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, that would have been if I was a police officer, I would have been like, so you left your girlfriend in Yellowstone and you brought her van back home. Where the fuck is she at?
And you're not worried about her or where she is.
Yeah.
And you're leaving now? You're just going to leave? Like,
Really suspicious. But anywho, so yeah, that's so far what's going on with Gabby Petito. And you can also go look at all this stuff on TikTok. You could type it in and there'll be so much stuff that pops up. I hope they find her. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. Just right now, it's not looking very good as far as like whether or not she's alive.
Maybe he sold her or something.
That was another theory.
Sex slavery.
Yeah, that was another theory because there have been people that supposedly there's been people that have said they saw her with him and other people, like other women or something like that. But apparently there's a lot of people that go missing in Yellowstone all the time.
That's not good because that's like one of my favorite places.
You've been there twice.
Yeah.
But apparently that, I don't know. There was some people talking about it on TikTok. They were like, well, it's really weird because there's people that go vanishing in Yellowstone and in that area all the time. Which, I mean, that's not uncommon because anywhere where you go hiking, people go vanishing a lot because they're not very, that could be people that aren't very good at hiking and stuff like that.
Get lost.
In this case, I don't know. It's just not looking good. But hopefully
they'll find her.
Maybe
she'll be okay.
I don't know. Maybe she just ran away. Like maybe she's like, I'm just gonna change my identity and run away. Like, I'm hoping that's something that happened. Maybe that's why he won't say anything.
They won't find the body or anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe he just left her. Maybe he was just.
Maybe they got into a fight and he just left.
But why wouldn't he just say that? Why wouldn't he go?
Why would he get a lawyer?
I left her in Yellowstone.
Why would he just be like, yeah, I'm leaving?
Yeah. That's why her parents are really upset because they think that something bad probably happened and they just want to know where their baby girl is. Like, and I feel really sorry for them. Like, they can't eat her, they can't sleep. Can they
question the parents?
I mean, yeah, they can, but they have lawyers now, so all they got to say is no comment.
No comment. Yeah.
I mean, so anyways, yeah, but if you want to see more about that, you can go see more about that. And then after, everything's done, this will probably be the last time we make an update. We'll probably update on our Instagram the more that we get. But we won't talk about this case again until, like,
something happens. Like,
till the end, I guess. If she's alive, if she's not, if he gets arrested, if he doesn't, whatever happens. So just be on the lookout for her. If you're in that area of Yellowstone, Utah, and like I said on our Instagram, we have all the information that you need to know to see what she looks like and everything. So yeah, and we will see you guys next week, I guess. And we hope that you guys have a fantastic weekend. See you later.
Bye.